Hey guys, hello. Oh my gosh, I just realized I have my dishwashing machine going in the background. I hope that's not being too noisy. I'm doing it from the kitchen today because it's too dark outside and it was too dark in my bedroom. Marlene, my right hand, Marlene, was saying, your video last week was too dark. I'm going to pause my dishwasher. That's what I think I'm going to do because it's a little loud. Is it loud to you guys? Can you hear it? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. We'll see how it goes. If you guys say you can hear it in the background, I'll go turn it off, but otherwise I won't. Couple big announcements. First of all, next week, I'm going to have a really big announcement, but I'm going to not tell you what it is right now. Next week, next live magic Q&A, which will be next week, I'm going to make a big announcement about something coming up. So I'm going to be here. Don't miss next week because there's going to be something really big. But I will tell you that we had our premiere on YouTube last week and it went really great. We had such a fun time. I completely encourage you that if you are, whether you're on Instagram right now or on YouTube, at 6 p.m., when we're done with this, go over to YouTube and go to the premiere for the Gift of Gab spell video, because guess what? Between 6 and 6:30, 6:30 is when we have the premiere and we can watch the video together. But between 6 and 6:30, I'm on the keyboard type chatting to you guys and answering questions. And so you can ask a ton of questions on that. And it's a smaller group. And so I'll get to your question. We're going to type it out. I'm not going to be talking about it, but still pretty cool. And we had a lot of talk about love spells last week. We had such a great time. It's super fun. Everybody's having so much fun with one another, and we're chatting for that 30 minutes leading up to the 6:30 premiere. So I hope that you will go over to YouTube and check that out tonight, because tonight we're going to be doing a spell called a Gift of Gab spell, which is a spell about opening up your gift of speaking. Now, why would you want this? Well, maybe you need to ask somebody for something. Maybe you need to be a public speaker for something. Maybe you're an actor. Maybe you're wanting to have success as a speaker. You might want to open up your gift of being able to communicate. Maybe it's not even about public communication, but about communicating with another person, like they're not understanding you or they're not hearing you, or you want to convince somebody of something. Maybe you have a boss and you have to go in and ask for a raise and you're nervous about it and you want to get that raise. Gift of Gab spell is good for that. So we're going to be doing that Gift of Gab spell over having the premiere of that video tonight at 6:30. The premiere starts, but from 6 to 6:30, we're in there in the YouTube room chatting on text, and it's super fun. And we had such a great time last time. As all the spell squad was over there, the strong but mighty crowd. I said strong but mighty, small but mighty crowd we had over there. You're all the spell squad. But a little bit of the spell squad went over to there for that premiere, and it was super great. We had such a great time. So I hope that you guys will join me for that. Retreat is happening in my shop once in a lifetime. I'm only going to do this once, guys. If you want to have a 5-day immersion, in magic, and learn how to do mojo bags, sympathetic magic, candle magic, divination. Even if you don't have divination skills, we're going to have a 5-day intensive at my shop, January 7th through 11th. I'm only going to do this once. So this is your one chance to come study with me 5 days in a row. I would love to have you there. January 7th through 11th, come on down and you will learn everything about magic. You will hang out with me, hang out with other magical people. It's going to be an amazing time. So I hope that you are going to come and join me for that. If you want to, we only have a limited amount of spaces that are available because it's not a huge shop. I don't have a giant space to do this in. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, go over to my site, Parlor of Wonders, go under instruction and look at the Academy of the Magical Arts, and you'll see about the retreat. Come on down to Los Angeles. It's beautiful weather in January. It's great to escape from whatever snowy climate that you live in and come have some magical fun with me on January 7th through 11th. What else is going on? I think that is it. Big announcement next week. So be sure to be here because I'm going to announce something really cool. All right. It's exciting. Let's get to questions. Let's jump into it. Okay. And if you guys, let's see, is anyone saying that the sound of the dishwashing machine is making any noise? I don't see any complaints. All right. So we'll let it go. We'll let my dishes wash. All right. So on YouTube, Benny is there. Hi, Benny. And Benny says, hi, Pamita. When did you first realize that magic really worked? That's a good question. Well, as a child, I always was interested in magic and anything about magic or supernatural phenomenon, ghosts, everything I could get my hands on. When I was a kid in the library, I was all over it. I'm a big book reader, a big advocate of reading books and researching and doing all that. So anything I could find, I was on it. When did I start realizing that magic worked? I started testing it out. I have a rather, believe it or not, I have a rather skeptical mind. I want to know something works before I'll trust it or believe it. So I test it out. So with everything that I do, whether it's spirit contact, whether it's past life work, whether it's magical work, divination, it works. I tested it. So I think I went into it actually kind of like, I'm curious about this. I want to know about this. Maybe I had a natural talent as a child for it. I grew up with a magical mom who would show me different, kind of little folk spells and things like that. But, as I got to be older in my teens, I was always testing things. So I would work with things and see if they did produce a result. And if they didn't produce a result, then I try something else. So as a result, you get me showing you stuff how to do that is tried and true and tested. I'm not showing you anything that I haven't tested dozens of times, if not hundreds of times, with people, either doing spells for myself or doing spell work for clients. So what I'm showing you it's stuff that is not just like, oh, I found this new thing and I want to share it with you. It's stuff that I've actually tested, actually used. And so it was a process, and I think there wasn't one moment where I was like, magic worked, but I think that it was a process over time where I kept testing out magic. I could see that there were results that I was getting, and I would try different things and see which things worked. And so I don't think there was one single moment, but just many, many moments over time where I could see, what testing out different things, researching different things, finding out, reading, trying out things that I discovered and seeing which things worked and which things didn't work. And so as I've gone into it, I'm sharing things that I know work and things that I see don't work or I kind of think are BS. I don't share because I've tested them and they didn't work. So when you're getting information from me, whether it's spell work or, questions that are answered here, I don't answer questions that I don't know about. I don't answer things that I'm not well versed in. And you've seen that here where people ask questions that I'm like, that's not my jam. I'm not into that, or I don't know anything about that. So, but the things that I know about, the things that I've tested, I know do work. And I will call BS on things that I know don't work. So there you go. All right. Instagram people. Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Will a blockbuster be effective? This is Ismail Serrano. Hi, Ismail. Will a blockbuster be effective to remove blockages with someone coming out and accepting their truth? Okay. So let's talk about coming out. And that's a great idea in working with a blockbuster to help someone to come out. So the process of coming out, whether that's coming out with your sexuality, coming out with your gender, coming out with your spiritual practice, there's that aspect too. People, we think of that, of course it started in the gay community where, having an attraction for someone of the same gender was looked down upon, and society still is in many places looked down upon. So coming out is a very brave process, and you have to have a lot of courage and a lot of bravery to come out to people who you may judge you. But there's a lot, it started in that idea, that concept of coming out really started there, but it's spread into lots of different areas. We can thank the gay community for bringing us this idea that being your authentic self and living in your truth is this act of bravery and act of courage to come out and express who you are in a truthful way so that other people can feel feel supported, encouraged, and so on. You know, that's one of the beautiful things, is that the more we see that beautiful variety of people expressing themselves, whether it's expressing their sexuality or expressing their religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs or expressing their gender or however they express themselves, that act of sharing it, whether you share it with friends and family or whether you share it with the wider world and you're in, you know, in the public eye, that act is an act that it not only benefits you to be living in your truth, but also benefits others to feel I'm not alone. Beautiful thing, right? So when someone needs that dose of courage, a blockbuster or a road opener could be really good. You know, what's the difference between blockbuster and road opener? Road opener is like pushing aside the blocks. And I always, unless the situation is extremely, extremely blocked, I always encourage people to start with road opener first, because it's very gentle. It's a kind of opening up. It's a kind of expansion, opening up energy. And we will never see with the road opener drama. You know, like a road opener is gentle. So that's not, it doesn't encourage an explosive, dramatic breakthrough. But if we're not having the results that we want from working with road opener, we tried road opener, we're still not seeing progress, we're still feeling blocked, we're still feeling like we're hitting that wall, then that's the time to bring in blockbuster. Blockbuster is much more explosive. It's like dynamite. It's like breaking things open. And sometimes, like if you blow up a mountain with dynamite, you're going to end up with rubble and things around. So sometimes the explosiveness, which of blockbuster, can create some drama and some things that need to be cleaned up. So I wouldn't necessarily start with blockbuster unless you've already tried road opener and you have seen no results. The other thing that I would bring into the equation would be, there's a candle that I sell called Supreme Confidence. A Supreme Confidence candle would be great with all of this, because remember that the process of coming out takes a lot of courage, that you need to feel really strong and really confident. So working with Supreme Confidence, working with John the Conqueror, which is also about feeling confident, working with power oil, power products, things like that, that are about your empowerment. Queen Elizabeth root also is really good for that. These empowerment herbs, these empowerment, spell candles and so on would also be really good, because of the whole idea that it's not only just the idea of coming out, but the courage to come out, having the courage to be your authentic self and to be honest with people about who you are. So I'd bring in some Supreme Confidence or one of those other things, and I'd start with a road opener. If I didn't see a result from those two candles, let's say we work with candles on those, then I would bring a blockbuster. If we're really facing some very, very solid blockages that just aren't moving, then I would start to bring that in. But blockbuster, generally is a great idea. I just would do one thing before I would try blockbuster, because you don't want to have the rubble, the drama, the big explosions that can happen with blockbuster. You don't necessarily want to invite that big stuff unless you're having such a hard block that, it's better to have the rubble than to have this block. And that's what you need to think about. So that's where I'd go. But that's a great idea to give someone support. If you have a lover, for example, that isn't coming out to their family and they want to, but they're scared to, those things, I'd start with road opener and Supreme Confidence. All right. So here we go over on YouTube. Vivian was over at the at our premiere last week. Next week, by the way, the premiere is going to be a spell that it's actually not a spell that I'm going to be in the video next week. Next week's premiere is going to be about color magic. And I'm going to be that video is all about talking about the power of colors in magic and why we want to use colors and different ways that you can use color magic and so on. So that's going to be a good one. But this week, Gift of Gab spell to get you to be more eloquent, be braver. Gift of Gab spell might be great for coming out too. Going back to that question of coming out, Gift of Gab spell would be great for that, because it's about being able to have the courage to speak. So there you go. So Vivian asks, so glad to be here again. Hi, my question is, what are the best spells to do during the waning moon? Thank you. All those beautiful hearts. Thank you so much, Vivian. So waning moon, let's talk about working with the moon. So in sort of pagan traditions and Wiccan traditions, in nature-centered religion traditions, a lot of nature-centered religions, we see working with the moon. Now, working with the moon and the phases of the moon is one way to work. It is not the only way that you have to work. If you feel like you're into that idea of working with the moon, then work with the moon. If you're not into it, don't ever feel like that I have to learn about working with the moon or it's the only way to work. It is not the only way to work. But if you like to work with the moon, if you're interested in the moon, if you feel a connection to the moon, then it is a fabulous way to work. So what do we do during waning moon? Let's talk about first what a waxing moon and a waning moon are. So when we look at the sky, we can see the moon going into its different phases. We see, like it's a crescent and a little skinny crescent. First it's dark, new moon. Then we see a little skinny crescent getting bigger and bigger, bigger until we finally get to a full moon, which we just had in Thanksgiving. We had our full moon. And then the moon gets smaller, 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 smaller until it finally is a dark moon again. That whole cycle takes approximately 28 days, right? So we have 2 weeks of waxing moon, which is the moon getting bigger, and 2 weeks of waning moon, which is the moon getting smaller. So right now, Thanksgiving was our full moon. So after the full moon, the moon gets smaller. Can't get bigger than full, right? So we have our waning moon getting smaller and smaller. So we are in a phase of a waning moon right now. We're just a couple days into it. We're not that far into it. So we have about 10 days or 10, 11 days more until we get to the new moon. What kind of spells do we do during a waning moon? Well, you can imagine that if we're working during a waning moon, we're working with things getting smaller. So what do you want to get smaller? You want to get rid of things, right? You want your problems to get smaller. You want your bad things to get smaller. You want your blockages to get smaller. So anything that you want to get rid of, diminish, wipe away, clean up, resolve, get out of your life, and so on, we do during the waning moon. Well, most of our spells, most people think about spells, I'd say probably 75%, maybe 80% of the spell work that I get asked about is stuff that people want to bring in. I want to bring my love in. I want to bring my prosperity in. I want to bring my success in. I want to bring in whatever, bring in protection, whatever it is that they want to bring in. But the waning moon is the perfect time to start and prepare for that spell of the thing that you want to bring in, right? Think about this. We got a big mess in our finances, right? Our finances are a mess. And we want to first clean up that mess and then invite the prosperity, right? Clean up the drama and then invite the peace and the tranquility or whatever it is, right? Get rid of our fear and invite in that perfect love that we want or whatever. So before you start a spell for bringing something in, now is the time to think about what you need to get rid of to make space for that thing to come in. So for example, I want increased prosperity. So during this time, I'm going to eliminate my fears about money, or I'm going to eliminate my poverty, or I'm going to eliminate my negative beliefs around what's possible for me financially. There's always something that you can get rid of. And so you work on that during the waning time. And then after our new moon, you can do your prosperity spell. Same thing we can do, think about love spells, right? I want to have a perfect love in my life. So during the waning moon, I'm going to eliminate my fears about love. I'm going to eliminate all my bad taste in my mouth from the bad relationships that I've had before. I'm going to eliminate my anxiety about dating. Whatever it is that you're going to get rid of to make space to bring the new relationship in, right? You can think about it and do that during this time and then do your spell to bring something in. That's what I call a complete spell cycle. When you clear something away and then you invite something in. You do an uncrossing work. Perfect during this time. You feel like you've been crossed up. picked up some negativity out in the world. Somebody's jealous of you. This one is, putting some negativity in your path or whatever. Perfect. During this time, clear that all away. Do your cleansing baths. Do your spells to release energetic purification spells to release the negativity. Do your release and restore spell to make space for bringing in that love. Whatever it is that you're wanting, you can find something to get rid of to make the space for that thing to come in. So there you go. So cleansing baths are great during the waning moon. Spells of energetic purification, spiritual cleansing, banishing spells, anything getting rid of something is great during the waning moon. So perfect. There you go. You got 10 days to do it. Get to it, kids. All right. Let's look over at Instagram. Cloud, says, I lost my snake. Please help me. He means everything to me. Is there anything I can do? Well, here's what I would do. That's a great question and an interesting question. We're going to talk about lost animals. How do we deal with lost animals? Well, lost animals, there's usually a mother spirit for that animal. We call that the spirit animal, the mother spirit, the over spirit of that animal. So you would petition the snake mother, which is I would say the guardian of the snakes, the god of the snakes, I don't know, goddess of the snakes. But petition that oversoul of the snakes to bring your snake back home, to bring your, or, I'm going to say something, depending on what climate you live in, if the snake can live in the wild, if you think your snake can live in the wild, maybe your snake needs to be free. Maybe your snake is like, I don't want to live in a terrarium or a glass case anymore. I want to be free. So you then ask that snake to come back, or ask the snake mother to bring that snake back to you if it is the snake's will. That's what I would do, because maybe that snake needs to be in the wild. Maybe that snake wants to have some freedom and wants to be out there. But if it's a cold climate, or you think your snake isn't going to survive the winter, then definitely you're going to bring that snake back in. But I would ask the snake oversoul, the snake mother, the snake goddess, the mother spirit of all of that species of animals to petition and ask for your snake to come home again, or ask your snake to tell you, or ask the oversoul to tell you where your snake is so you can find your snake. That's what I would do. Another way to connect, and ask where your snake is, if you're looking for your snake, you can use a pendulum. So a pendulum is is how to ask yes or no questions, a form of divination where you get yes or no answers. You can ask that snake, your snake, to tell you where it is by asking, is the snake in the house? And then seeing yes or no. Is the snake on my property? Yes or no. And ask those questions to pinpoint where your snake is. If you don't know how to work with a pendulum, then watch my video on my site. There, under instruction, there are how-to videos. Under the videos, how-to videos, you can find a video working with a pendulum, and start working with the pendulum to ask your snake where it is, and just start asking yes or no questions. Are you in the house? Are you in the living room? Are you in the kitchen? Are you in the bedroom? And asking those questions will help you. Are you underneath the house? And all of those things. Or, you could point to a map and use your pendulum to locate where your snake is, if it's beyond your property or something like that. I wish you luck with that. That's a very hard thing. But I also think, maybe, it's your snake's will to have that freedom. Your snake wanted to have that freedom, and you want to give it that, you may miss it, but you also want to give it its independence, if that's what it really, really wants. If that's what your snake is longing for. It's painful, but maybe that's what the snake's soul wants to have, is that freedom, But we'll see. Ask the snake mother to help you, and use a pendulum to guide you to find where it is. All right. Let's see what we got over on YouTube. Atomic Viper says, hey, Roman Norse pagan here. Hope your night's going well. Thank you. Marlon Garcia says, hello, madam. What is the spell? What is the spell for job seekers? Well, there's a great series of products called Steady Work. So there's a Steady Work candle that I sell. There's Steady Work oil, Steady Work sachet powder. Those are all for inviting jobs, but you can certainly add other things to it. So if you wanted to light a steady work candle, but you wanted to, open up opportunities, maybe you're not finding enough opportunities for work, or you're not getting your foot in the door, then you can add road opener, like we talked about earlier, road opener products to sort of open up those opportunities for having that good job. Maybe you want success, or you want to have a promotion or some kind of power. You could do a success candle or a John the Conqueror candle along with a steady work candle. So you can combine things depending on your situation to customize it a little bit. But I would, excuse me, I would first just start with the steady work candle to get that going, to get that job going. I'm going to have a little bit of my tea in my Renaissance Fair mug. I've got some tea today. Okay. All right. So let's see what we've got over on. Hi, Leeds. Hi, Leeds. Leeds Hills here. My buddy from New York. Hi, Madam Pamita. What are some good techniques to overcome addiction magically? Sending so much love. I send that love right back to you, Leeds. Well, addictions. There's a lot of herbs that are used for releasing oneself or someone that you love from addiction, and there are oils. So cast off evil oil is the oil that is used for getting rid of addictions or unhelpful. It's a kind of a little bit like a cut and clear energy, but it's about getting rid of addictions and getting rid of people who are leading someone in a bad direction. So let's say part of an addiction is, if someone, you have a friend or a loved one who has an addiction, and you want them to, they hang out with people that kind of encourage that addiction, then cast off evil is very good for that, for getting rid of those people and getting rid of the addiction. Now, if the addiction is something that you are working on for yourself, like you have something that is kind of compulsive and you want to get rid of it, then you can also use power oil to empower yourself, to give yourself the willpower to resist that urge. I think that power oil is particularly good when you're working on yourself, because you have the consciousness, the idea that I want to be empowered and I want to resist those compulsions. So the power oil will give you that willpower to do that. But that's only if you have the idea. If someone doesn't have the idea, then cast off evil would be perfect to get them out of that cycle of addiction. An herb that's very good for clearing those addictions is eucalyptus, is a very good one. So you could create an infusion of eucalyptus in water and put it in a bath, doing a cleansing bath with either the oil, cast off evil oil, or the power oil, or the eucalyptus infusion would be very good. Epsom salt, sea salt, and then some of that to rid yourself of to really cleanse yourself, really rid yourself of that compulsion or that addiction. So those would be good. Those would be good. Carmen, hello. Looking over at YouTube. My lady, I was watching the Burlesque, the movie, and you came to my mind. Cher, her looks reminded me of you. Well, that is a big compliment because I love Cher. I've got to talk like this, like Cher, right? I don't know. Good thing I'm not professionally an impersonator, because that wouldn't work. Bobby Munster, thank you for the beautiful candle. Hello, how are you? Thank you for that gorgeous candle. I've been meaning to send you a message about that, and I just have been so busy this week. I haven't had a chance to. But thank you so much for that gorgeous candle. Bobby sent me a candle that is all these skulls on top of one another, like a pyramid of skulls. It's pretty cool candle. All right. All right, so let's see what we've got going on. Okay. Wendy says, hi, Madam Pamita. How accurate are tarot readings? Can the outcome change? Thanks. Okay, this is a fabulous question. I love this question. I love this question. So you're asking in general, how accurate are tarot readings? Well, it depends, of course, on the skill of the reader. There you go. That's the first thing. Because there's an intuitive component. And if the person is intuitive, they're good intuitive, and tarot may be their methodology. They may just get psychic messages, or there may be something else. Now, I spent a lot of time analyzing this concept of of what is happening during a tarot reading. Like, what am I doing? Because people have asked like this question, what's going on in the tarot reading? And what I've come to this conclusion, and I've had this confirmed by other people who are highly intuitive as well, is that it's not as if when you're doing a reading for someone that every single time you're watching a movie of their future of what's happening and this is what's going to happen, because there's something called free will. We have free will. So in some situations, we see a strong, what I call a strong stream in a certain direction, so strong that we could consider it to be a destiny, right? Like, for example, there's a strong stream here that I'm going to continue answering questions until 6 o'clock and then go over and do the premiere of the video on YouTube, right? Which I should put that link. At the end of this, I'll put the link to where to go at the end of our talk today, where to find that premiere. But that's a strong stream in that direction, right? There's a strong stream, not a lot of influences that are saying that I'm going to, shut down and get mad and leave or something like that. Generally, we see a strong stream that we're going to complete this and then go on to the other thing. So when we're doing a reading, we will see something that says, yes, she's going to complete the talk today, the Q&A today, and then go on to do the premiere. Talking about people's lives, there sometimes are very strong streams that we could see as destinies. And in those cases, we can say, well, look, this is where things are headed, or this is where things are going. But equally, there are times where we see that things could go kind of either way, depending on what I call contingencies, whether someone takes action. So the type of reading that I do when I do a tarot reading, I'm looking at how to get to a certain aim or a certain goal. So when I have a session with someone, I sit down with them and I say, what is it that you're aiming for? What is it that you want to, what is it that we want to talk about today in our session today? And they'll tell me what's going on. I want to get a promotion at work. Okay. So they have a goal in mind. There's something that they want. And in the tarot reading, we can look, how does that person get to that goal? Is there a strong stream that's leading to that promotion? Or is it kind of a stream that depends on them taking some action? Or is there a stream that says no way in hell they're going to get that promotion? That's what we are looking at. So sometimes things fall in that it could go either way. And I'm very honest with people when I can say, oh, look, it looks like it can go either way. But I also point out to them when it can be strong, or I also point out to them when it's like, it's not going to happen. So I think it depends on how good your tarot reader is, and understanding conceptually that sometimes there are situations in life where you get to make choices, that there isn't such a strong stream in that direction that you can't do something different, that you could change the course by making a different decision or taking a different action. So there's nothing there is no such thing actually as a destiny, because we always have free will. I could shut this down right now. I have the will, if I chose to shut this down right now and end the Q&A right now, but I don't have a strong will for that. I'm enjoying being here with you guys and hanging out with you guys. Why would I want to do that? So we can look at that completion of our hour together as like a destiny, right? Because it's going really well and everything's good and all is well. And we don't see anything that's going to come in and interfere with it. Everything is going to be great, right? So it's looking at a roadmap, and you get to choose which road you get to go on. Now, like I said, sometimes there's very strong roads that you don't have to do much of anything. Other ones depend on you taking some action or supporting it in some way. And other roads are so blocked as to be virtually, it's going to be a very uphill battle to turn that thing around, right? So that's how tarot readings are helpful. They're a roadmap, but you are the one that has to walk the road. You are the one that has to walk the road. There is no such thing as destiny. You get to make choices. If you don't like what happens in that reading, then you can make some other choices to see a different outcome. You can do some magic to see a different outcome, but you always have free will. So tarot readings are very accurate if you look at them in the sense that they are a roadmap and they show you how to get to what it is that you want, but you end up doing the walking. Okay. That's why, and by the way, that's why I think they're very fun. Things like going to computer generated tarot readings are, you know, I kind of go like, yeah, they're kind of fun, but the problem is that there's no intuition involved. It's just a computer spewing out the meanings of the tarot cards. It's not a person, a talented person interpreting those tarot cards, showing you what they mean and for your situation in particular. So unless you have an understanding of the tarot, those kind of computer generated online tarot readings are fun, but I wouldn't look and put too much, invest too much emotionally into those readings, because there's not a reader there supporting you, guiding you, and showing you, So, all right. So let's see what we've got. Hi, Love Witch. Hi, Pisces Dream. Sniggy Pokey, Pyoki, you are looking amazingly beautiful tonight. Thank you, my dear. You're so sweet. Brendan Snowball 2010. What are some of the ways? Hi, Brendan. What are some of the ways to use the tarot in spell work other than divination? Okay. So what are some of the ways to use? Well, I've done a whole class on this. You can use tarot cards. I did a class in Denver about this. I did a class in New York about this. Tarot cards are actually quite powerful as talismans. So let's talk about what talismans are. Talismans are things that you carry, that you hold with you, that you put on you, that you use, put on something to bring the energy of that thing. So tarot cards have individual energy. They have energy. Those images have power. Images themselves, symbols have power, right? When we see, I think of an example. I'm going to think of a kind of a real negative example. But if you see, like you see a swastika, that's a really negatively charged energy. Now, the swastika I'm talking about, not the Indian swastika, which is a good luck symbol, but the Nazi swastika, right? That is going to make you feel scared. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel, have feelings, right? And usually those feelings are very strong, negative feelings when we see that. If you saw somebody walking around, you'd have an emotion about that. If they were walking around with a shirt with a swastika on it, you'd feel uncomfortable, right? You'd feel challenged. You'd feel there's something about that has a lot of, that symbol has a lot of energy around it, negative energy around it. If you saw something really positive symbol, maybe there's something like a mandala or a peace sign or a heart shape or something symbolically that brings you a lot of joy and happiness, that's going to make you feel good. Like if you saw something unusual, like Skywriter did a heart in the sky, it might make you feel happy, So you have symbols that for you speak very, very strongly to you, like that have positive connotations that have negative connotations. So the tarot deck is loaded with symbols. Now, whether you acknowledge or know what those symbols mean or not, you can tell what those cards just by looking at them, if the story is a happy story or a scary story or a sad story. Many of those cards you can tell, even if you're not a reader, what they mean. So even if you're not a reader, you can pick cards in the tarot and use them as points of attraction for that energy. For example, the Sun card. I don't have my deck here. It's in the other room. But the Sun card is a card that in the Rider-Waite shows a little baby, little happy baby riding on a horse in a garden with the sun shining above. It's a beautiful, happy image. It's a joyful image. It's an image of freedom and play and fun and life is good, right? I think we can all agree that's probably the Sun card is a positive card. It's a positive image. It has some good energy around it. So you can use that Sun card in your life in some way to draw in more of that happiness, to draw in more of that joy and openness and freedom and carefreeness and play. Just being like a little baby playing is one of the most carefree things in the world, right? Little baby playing doesn't care about anything. They aren't worrying about the problems in the world and so on, right? Babies are free. So we look at that little baby as a very positive, very free, very carefree energy. Now, what can you do with that card? You don't even have to have a tarot deck, by the way. You can go online, find an image, print it out, and now you can use that tarot card as a petition paper. Hey, wouldn't that be amazing to take that card, that image of a card from the computer printout off the internet, print it out, and then use the back of it for your petition. Maybe you want to have prosperity. So you choose the King of Pentacles, this king holding this big gold coin, this big gold disc, and you write your petition on the back of that. Or you want a lover to come to you. You want a relationship that's really a beautiful soulmate partnership. You might pick the Lover's card to use that and then write your petition on the back of that. Just like you would do with a regular petition paper, you write on it, you fold it toward you if you want to, if it's something you want to bring to you, and you put it underneath your candle. Maybe you take a smaller image and you write your petition and you stick it in your shoe, or you stick it in your bra, or you carry it in your wallet, or you carry it in your pocket. Or maybe you take that card or that image of that card and put it on your altar. There's so many things that you can do, but thinking about empowering your intention or empowering your spell with those images and using those images as you would use a, you know, any kind of a talisman to bring more energy, to bring more support into your intention. That's the whole thing about it, is that you're using them to bring in what it is that you want. So that's a way that you can use them magically. You can also use them as points of focus and meditation. I teach in I've taught in my book, I think I brought it up in my book, is that you can put, if you have a card that you pick, is maybe that's your card of the day, or maybe you consciously went through the deck and said, you know, I want a lover, so I'm going to put the Lover's card. Put that on your screen of your phone, your background for your phone, so that when you are looking at your phone 50 times a day, you see that card to activate that spell, to activate that affirmation of, I'm going to bring that love into my life. I'm going to bring that prosperity into my life. So that's another way that you can work with images of the tarot deck and the cards of the tarot deck to bring in what it is that you want. So there you go. All right. So here we go. Danny Chen. All of your YouTube videos are mostly about love spells. Do you work with money spells, cleansing spells? Hey, Danny, thank you. You brought up something great. I have a ton of videos about money, other things, cleansing, all kinds of things. Yes, a good majority of them, probably at least 60% of them, are about love, but there are plenty about other things. So if you are not seeing them on YouTube, what you can do is go over to my site, go to parlorofwonders.com, go over to the instruction section, look under videos, look under the how-to videos, and you'll see a pretty updated version. I think it's pretty up to date. List of all the videos that I have on magic, and you just look for things that are non-love spell oriented. Got sachet magic of making prosperity using sachet powder. I've got a pyramid candle spell that's about creating long-lasting prosperity. So there are a ton of videos about that. A 7-knob candle for prosperity, a double action candle for reversing negativity and bringing in more prosperity. So there's a lot of money spells there. Okay, let's see. We got on Instagram. Hi, everybody. Charmed113. Hi, Madam Pamita. I was wondering what we can use to keep bullies and road rage drivers away from us. I've done your car protection mojo. What more can I add? Seems like they're still around some. Good idea. So I have a video. There's another video that's not a love video about making a mojo bag to protect your car and to open up, to protect you from getting lost, and to protect you from road rage, and protect you from help you to find parking spots and all of those good things. So if you want to add an extra level of protection, then what I would recommend would be Fiery Wall of Protection oil to let's put some strong, really keeping away that negativity protection on your mojo bag. So when you feed your mojo bag in your car, putting some Fiery Wall of Protection on that wouldn't be a bad idea, to just kind of keep a kind of a electric fence around your car and you, so that you can, that anger that they're generating will bounce back on them. You know, that it won't hit you, it won't hurt you, it won't harm you. It'll just go right back at the person who's generating it. So that would be what I would do. Sort of simple thing, but yeah, car mojo bag is an excellent thing. I have a mojo bag in my car, drive around a lot. I'm in LA, so, you know, I'm driving all the time. So Yeah, that mojo bag for protection and travel and parking, finding parking spots and all those good things that are so important, not getting lost, is really, really good. There you go. Hey, it's Carrie K. The bubble bloop alerted me you're live. Hey, it's that Carrie Chrome. Good. I guess it's you because you've got a little lightning bolt. I think that's amazing. She's a legend, Carrie Chrome. She's in every book. Everything I'm looking at now. I see something about her. It's pretty funny. Arch Stanton. Okay, you are stupid question. Atomic Viper. Hi, I'm new to your channel. I was wondering, do you associate with any pantheons? I'm a spiritualist, so I'm kind of a little bit of a buffet person, which is that spirits, including ancestors, people that were, had lived in the past, entities, always positive entities, elementals, and gods and goddesses will sometimes contact me to have me do work. But I don't have a pantheon that I worship or supplicate to or do anything like that. I usually am doing work for them. And then I sometimes will ask them for favors if I've done work for them before. And then we have a relationship, I'll ask for them. But I'm a spiritualist. So it's a little bit different. And I'm kind of like whoever comes to me, I work with, they will ask me to do things for them and I'll do it for them. So I have relationships all over the place with all kinds of spirits, including gods and goddesses, but not a formal path or a formal religion. I wouldn't say that. So it's a more spiritualist kind of 1800s spiritualist kind of way of being. All right. So let's see. We've got over, hi, Alvin. Alvin says, hi, one of my students. Tarot class coming, guys. If you are wanting to take a tarot class, Alvin was one of my tarot students. Tarot class will be coming in the spring. After the holidays, I'll be starting to announce it. And sometime in the spring, I'll be opening up a new tarot class. We have a virtual class that we do online, but it's all live. It's all in person. You're with me. You can ask me questions. I teach you. I show you as we go along. It's amazing and fun thing. So if you are interested in learning tarot, sign up for the free introduction. I have a free introductory workshop that is an introduction to tarot. It's a full class, and it doesn't cost anything, and it gives you a little flavor of what the class is like. It's live, it's in person, it's super fun. You can ask me all your questions about tarot, and we can talk about tarot, and you can get that groundwork so that you can take the beginning class, and then if you want the advanced class. These classes, I'm going to tell you, I take people consistently. I take people from being zero to being professional readers, from not knowing anything about the tarot to going out and starting businesses. I have done it many, many times. I've seen my students, some of them go on to do readings for their friends and family, and others totally take it professional and start a business. And I've seen people do it as a part-time business, and I've seen people even do it as a full-time business, and I take them there. So if you've tried other tarot courses, you've tried learning with books or something like that, but you really want to learn once and for all, then I invite you to come join me for the free introduction. See if you like it. I'll be doing an introduction sometime in the spring. So you'll put that in, you'll put your name in now. You won't hear anything for a few months. So you got to get through these holidays and all of that. And then sometime in the springtime, I'll be announcing that I'll be doing that free introduction and then the class starting up again. And we have so much fun. It is an amazing thing. And also, I got to say that with my students, they build relationships with the other students. They have other magical friends all over the world. I have people all over the world that we do this with, and it's just a blast. We have a great time. Oh, that reminds me, all over the world. I'm opening up my 2 beginning mastermind groups are opening up. So we have a beginning mastermind group on Tuesday evenings at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm thinking of opening up the Sunday group at noon Pacific time on Sundays, twice a month. If you have a magical business or you have some kind of you want to start a magical business, you're curious about starting a business, and or you have a little business that's less than 2 years old, then come to my beginning mastermind. We're going to have a free introduction to what a mastermind is. So I'm going to put something up on the website under the Academy of the Magical Arts. Oh, no, sorry. Under the mastermind group, under instruction, go to Parlor of Wonders, under instruction, go to the mastermind group, and there should be a sign up thing. And if not, I'll put in a sign up thing to sign up for the mastermind, the beginning masterminds that are opening up on Sunday at noon Pacific time, or Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Pisces dream. I have a question about past life regression. I feel like in a last life, I was a witch, practiced magic so strong that I've had several dreams in my past life. Is this possible? Absolutely. Having dreams about something or having some kind of flashback of some kind is absolutely a way that you can get information about your past lives. If you want to do more sort of delving into that, then I recommend that you do either a meditation where you go in and a beautiful meditation that you can do is to go in and to visualize yourself diving into a pool and then popping, like a pond or something like that, and then popping up out of the water and seeing what it is that you're wearing, what is the scene around you. You're going in this, diving into this past life and emerging into your past life, if that makes sense. So you can do a guided meditation. I'm sure there's guided meditations for past life regression, or you can just do this imagination visualization of picturing yourself diving into this pool of water and then coming out of the water, surfacing and emerging from that pool into that past life. See what it is that you're wearing. See the people around you, what they're wearing. Are you male? Are you female? What is the scene around you? And you can get some idea of that past life and what you experienced by doing that. It's a nice introduction. If you want to go into more depth, or you want to have some help as you do this, you can go under hypnosis and have someone do a past life regression, or you can have someone like me. I do past life readings where we go into that past life and we can learn about that past life. I go into your Akashic records and I discover what it is that you are all of, that what you experienced and what were the incidents in that life and all the important highlights of that life we can get into. So there's lots of ways to explore that, but there's that beautiful kind of visualization that you can do on your own in a meditative state to do that. Or you can ask for information in your dreams. I mean, that's another way that you can explore that. All right, so let's look at what we got going on YouTube. Kirkum, KK the DJ, divination by regular playing cards for yes or no questions. Do you do that? I don't do divination by regular playing cards, but regular playing cards are a great form of divination, and it's actually a really good system. And it's really the original system that when we talk about the Roma that were doing, the gypsies, as they're called, doing divination, they didn't use tarot cards. They used playing cards because playing cards were readily available. If we think about that, tarot cards in their form were really Italian and French. And then they started to move to England in the I would say the 1700s, 1800s. So it wasn't like tarot cards were everywhere. There's a specific game that tarot came from that was tarocchi in Italian or tarot in French. There was a game that was associated with it. So it was like taking these cards that were created for a game and using them for divination. But playing cards were created for a game and they can be used for divination. I can read playing cards, but I read playing cards like I read tarot cards, meaning I know that spades equal swords, and I know what four of swords means, and I know what that I know what four of spades means. So I can read that way, but I'm not like some people read a very different system of divination with the cards that doesn't have to do with the tarot, and so there is a legitimate separate system of reading the cards that's different than tarot reading. So. Can it be used for yes/no questions? Sure, you can use it in a yes/no way by deciding, for example, that that red cards mean no and black cards mean yes, or black cards mean no and red cards mean yes, whatever you decide ahead of time. And then you could, you know, say that court cards, the Jack, Queen, or King, mean a maybe or an undecided, and then just cut the cards and see what comes up. I mean, you can do that with also flipping a coin. You can do it with a pendulum. So there is a definite legitimate way that you can do a yes, no reading, but there is a very detailed way of doing a reading with playing cards that is its own system, but it's very, you know, it's kind of corresponds to tarot, but a little bit different. So, let's see what we got going on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Instagram. I'm getting over a cold, you guys, so my brain is a little fuzzy. Oh, this is a great question. I Montes says, what ritual do you suggest to do for New Year's? Well, this is great. New Year's is coming. New Year's is coming. So you want to do some kind of intention for the year. So I recommend to people, rather than doing resolutions, that they do intentions for the new year. What do they want to invite into their life? What would you like to accomplish for this New Year's? Rather than saying, I'm going to, you know, start exercising every day. What is it that you would like to invite into your life? More happiness, more love in your life, more friendships in your life, more time off in your life, more vacations, more play, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring in, more happiness. I would and set that intention for the new year. Now, one of the things I love to do, I think it's a very beautiful thing to do for the new year, is to work with flying wish paper. So there's something that I sell on my site called flying wish paper, which is these little slips of paper that you write your intention on, and then you light them. And when you light them, you roll them up and then you light them. When they burn down to the bottom, they fly up in the air. The ash flies up in the air. So it's a beautiful way of like sending out your intention. And I mean, it doesn't have to be just for New Year's, but such a beautiful thing for New Year's to light this fire, to send out this intention out into the universe of what it is that you're wanting. So, working with flying wish paper is a beautiful ritual. It's very magical. It's very symbolic and beautiful for the new year of setting your intentions of what it is that you want to invite. Every new year, I do an intention for the new year. I always write it down. I write it down on flying wish paper, or I write it down on a piece of paper and I keep it. But whatever it is, I always put an intention for the new year of what I would like to invite more of in my life. What do I want more of in my life? Or what do I want less of in my life can also be the intention. But I always do that intention of what I'd like to bring for the year. Beautiful thing to do. So think about it in the days leading up to New Year's, and then you can write them down and then do your flying wish paper or do your ritual of whatever kind, light a candle or whatever to set off the intention for the new year. So that's a good thing to do. Yes. Okay. Kat Crawford says, I'm a new YouTube subscriber. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, you guys, we're at the end of our session here. Don't forget, we're going to be doing, after this is over at 6 o'clock, I'm going to be going over, I'm going to put the link at the bottom here of the YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, you Instagrammers, go over to YouTube. YouTube people, you're going to get the link over here where we do an online chat for 6 to 6:30. And then at 6:30, we have a premiere we watch together of the new video that's coming out, which is the Gift of Gab spell. So super fun. When you go over there to YouTube, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button on my channel so that you'll get notified when we're either doing the live Q&A or we're doing the premieres, and you won't have to like find it or see where it is. You'll just get a notification, click that link and go. So yes, I do online classes, and yes, you can find them online. If you go to parlorofwonders.com, go to under instruction, you'll see Academy of the Magical Arts, or you can go to academyofthemagicalarts.com and you'll see my classes and what I offer. And I'm going to be just finishing up a tarot class. I'm going to be starting a tarot course in the new year, and I've got some other courses coming up. We've got a mastermind group that we're starting. So if you have a business, you can join that. All kinds of good things coming up. So just, you can go over there and find all that stuff under instruction. Plus, there's tons of free information on my site, free videos, how-to guides, all kinds of things, all free that you can find over there. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Go over to YouTube, find me over there, and you'll find the premiere that's coming up for the Gift of Gab spell. I'll see you over there in a few minutes. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to put the link in a second. Instagram people, you're going to be going away. Don't forget, next week, big announcement next week. I hope I see you. My laundry, big announcement next week. So I want you to be here next week to hear my big announcement because I'm super excited about it. So I hope to see you next week or see you over on YouTube at that premiere of our new video, Gift of Gab spell, so that you can have the bravery to ask those questions, have the bravery to come out, have the bravery to speak your truth, to be your authentic self, to ask for that raise, to ask for that date, to be a speaker, to be an actor, to do any of those things. So check out that spell, whether you join me for the premiere or see it later over on YouTube or on my site. Bye, Instagram people. Bye, bye, bye. There they go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to go now. See you next week. Bye. Bye. There they go. Okay. So you guys over here on YouTube, let me get you quickly over to the premiere. I've just got to get that link. I wasn't prepared. Sorry. Let me get that. And I'll put the link at the bottom of the chat here. And then there we go. We're going to have a new video we'll watch together and I can answer your questions. All right, here we go. Putting the link down here now. All right, guys, at the bottom of the chat, you'll see the link to go to the video, and I'll meet you over there in just a couple of seconds. All right. So see you over there or see you next week here. Have a beautiful week and let's go over there. All right. Bye.